Good morning, everybody. We have a virtual literacy lesson today that is separate from our normal meeting because of MAP testing. So we'll jump into some spelling review. We'll learn some new words and sort them in orthography. We're also going to start a brand new well-ordered language unit, which we'll slowly ease into so that on Friday when we have regular live class, we'll definitely have time to talk through it. And review a little roots in poetry. First, let's review. Pause the video if you don't have your whiteboard out yet. And we'll take some time to review words that will be on your quiz. And let's begin with arrange. Can you please write the word arrange? Okay, pause the video if you need more time. Arrange. Let's keep that base word and let's just add a suffix to make it arrangement. Keep that base word exactly the same spelling. Arrangement. Next, let's write reference. Spelled almost identically to reverence, which we had in our last mastery test. Reference rather than reverence. Reference. Check that your spelling matches mine. We have another word with the "ince" ending, evidence. 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 Next, another one with that "ince" ending, experience. Anytime you see that ending, you should think of E-N-C-E, that same spelling pattern. Almost always it will be spelled that way when you hear "ince" at the end. Experience. Experience. Should look like that. Experience. Okay, let's just do a couple more. Secretary, our next one. Secretary. Should look like this. Secretary. And finally, career. Career. And let's see where that syllable break is. Career. Double E, and that's an A, that's an unstressed syllable, so it says that sound. Okay, that's all the review. We are not going to be reviewing phonograms just to keep these lessons kind of short into the core parts of our lesson. So just taking a few days off of phonograms with these virtual videos. At this time, we're going to start a new spelling lesson. So take out your binder and you can pause if you need to grab that because I'm going to just jump right in. Our first word today is license. Would you say license? License. This word you probably mainly hear of like with a driver's license, but a license can be anything that like gives you permission to do something. For example, like teachers have to have a teacher's license to be able to teach in a state. So driver's license, teaching license, things like that. Let's sound it out. License, 2 syllables. In the first syllable, I says its name in an open syllable. In the second syllable, we have s, n, s, 4 sounds. The first s sound is k, s, license. And then the second s is z. And we can't end words with z or else it looks plural, so we have a silent final E, job 5. Okay, so first is k, second is z. Please pick up your pencil to write it. O, I, syllable break, silent final E. License. Check that your spelling matches mine. Cross it out and rewrite it if you need to. Let's go through the markings. First, we have I saying its name in an open syllable. Next, 2 on top of the k, and silent final E, job 5. License is a noun. Okay, time for our next word. Our next word is magnify. Would you say magnify? Magnify, like a magnifying glass. To magnify something means to make it big. Magnify. Would you sound it out with me? Magnify. 3 syllables. First syllable, basic code, mag. Second syllable, if, also basic code. And finally, magnify. The sound I at the end of a word is usually what phonogram? Yeah, I-E, good job. Okay, please pick up your pencil and write magnify. Pause it if you need more time. Ag, syllable break. If, syllable break. I, magnify. So first syllable basic code, second syllable basic code. Yeah, I-E says which vowel sound? The second, that's right. If it was the letter I, we would underline it, but for this one, we're going to put a 2 on top. Magnify is a verb. Now we'll change it into an adjective for our next word. And can you think of a word that has this base that'd be used as an adjective, saying something great or big? So to magnify means to make great or big. Can you think of the adjective which is great or big? If you guessed magnificent, you're right. Magnificent. Magnificent. In this word, we switch out the Y for an I before we add our suffix. So it's going to be I-E here instead. And then for the last syllable, s-a-n-t, 4 sounds. It's a k saying its second sound for that first letter in the syllable. Would you please write magnificent? Ag, syllable break. I, syllable break. I, syllable break. S-a-n-t, magnificent. First syllable is basic code. Second syllable is basic code. Third syllable is basic code. Even though it's in an open syllable, it's still I saying its first sound. Over here, magnificent. How do we mark this? 2 on top, that's right. And this word is an adjective. In that whole word, just one marking. Okay, time for the next word. The next two are going to go together. Got another M word. Our next one is mystery. Did you say mystery? Mystery is something that is undiscovered or unknown. Mystery. Some of you might enjoy reading some mystery books like Nancy Drew or Jigsaw Jones and Hardy Boys. Lots of mystery books are really great for your age. So mystery. And the word mystery, we have an unusual, kind of mysterious spelling because the first syllable, miss, has a y-I-E acting as the vowel. And that doesn't a lot of times happen in the first part of a word. Usually it's at the end of the word. But in this case, we have y-I-E in the first syllable. Mr. E are the syllables. Can you say them with me? Mr. E. 3 syllables. It sounds like Mr. E. So the first syllable, is, once again has a y-I-E as the vowel. Second syllable, we'll use the of her, the most common one. And finally, E, one sound, that's y-I-E again, saying a different sound though. So 2 letters. Please pick up your pencil to write mystery. I'll write it actually down here. Pause if you need more time. Is, syllable break. Syllable break. E, mystery. Now our first syllable, we're not going to mark this vowel, the Y as a vowel, because it's saying its first vowel sound, mystery. Over here, the of her. And finally, I-E, it's saying the third vowel sound, so I'll put a 3 on top. This word is usually a noun, but it can be used as an adjective too. Now for our last word, we're going to turn this into the plural, mysteries. To do that, we'll swap out the Y for an I and add ES. It'll end up having the EI piece of pie phonogram. Would you write mysteries? Is, syllable break. Syllable break. Is, mysteries. Not to be confused with mysterious, which would be an adjective of this word. We're going to do that tomorrow. Mr. Ease. Once again, underline the of her. And for our third syllable, we have EI piece of pie saying its first sound and Z saying its second sound. Now this can only be used as a noun. We wouldn't describe something as like a mysteries novel. We use this word as a noun or adjective, but this is just a noun. Okay, take a moment to pause the video if you need some stretch time, get your eyes off the computer. But at this point, we are going to jump right into some cursive, and then we'll sort our words in orthography later. And I'm running a little out of time. We're about to start a live meeting in just a bit for testing. So we'll do well-ordered language as a separate video. Okay, our first cursive letter to learn for today is the letter Q. Now, the letter Q is one of the most unusual capital letters, one of the most unusual cursive letters. There are different ways of writing it. When I was a kid, it was mainly something like that. Looks kind of like a manuscript Q, except this part is curvier. Do you remember in print that would be the letter Q in capital letters? Well, this one is going to look very much like the number 2, strangely enough. And if you've seen that whole cursive alphabet sheet, then you'll know that. So this is a way of making just one fluid line so that we don't have to pick up our pencil like these. So what it's going to look like is that we'll start at about 10 on the clock at the top, come around, going to 12, then over to 2, and then down, kind of at a diagonal, and then start to curve up and make a little loop, and then come out. Let me do the next one a little faster so it's prettier. You like that. And it would easily connect to other letters just from the bottom. Okay, so 10 to 12 to 2, then down and a loop. Looks very much like the 2. Maybe many of you write your 2s in that same way. I am drawing a blank and can't think of any good proper nouns that would start with Q. There's the name Quentin. We could write that. Or trying to think of something that would connect with maybe some things we're studying. We'll go ahead and do Quentin. So just to show you an example of that. Qua. Or Quirrell. Some of you are reading the Harry Potter books and he's in the first one. Not sure exactly if this is going to be the right spelling, but something like this would be his name in cursive. Okay, so that is the letter Q. Quite different than usual Q, but it looks really nice and it easily connects to other letters. I don't blame you if it takes you a little while, though, to look at this and be able to read it as a Q, because it looks like just twirl or twinton. Quite unusual, but very pretty, and it connects very easily to other letters, and I would say it's one of the simpler ones actually to write. Now, our next letter to review is the letter Z. And this one is not going to have the point at the top like the lowercase z. You know, with the lowercase z, we went around like the S and then made a tail. Instead, for the capital Z, it's going to be curvy at the top. It's going to look like this. We'll start the same way we did the Q, from 10 to 12 to 2 on the clock, make a diagonal, and then we'll make a little loop smaller than the Q, and then drop down for a tail. Okay, so once again, 10 to 12 to 2, diagonal line down, little loop, tail. That's the letter Z. We could write the country Zambia as an example of this. Should have done that for the Q. Just think of a country name. That would have been better. Like Qatar. Not very many of them, though. So that's an example of a proper noun that would start with a capital Z, connect over to other letters. And those are the only 2 capital letters we're going to learn for today in cursive. You can pause the video if you need more time to look at it. And on Friday when we have class, if there are any letters that you're having a hard time with, we'll kind of slow it down and I'll walk through it with you. Because Friday we'll have no testing. Okay, that's all for cursive. The last part of this video is that I'm going to go over orthography with you. And then a separate video will go over well-ordered language and a little bit of review of roots in poetry. Okay, so first of all, let's write our words in orthography notebook. I'm on page 54, lesson 67. Our first word was license. License. Our second word was magnify. Magnify. Then magnificent. Magnificent. I think that was all, yeah. Mystery is next. Mystery. And mysteries. Mysteries. Let me come a little closer so you can see that better. Pause it if you need more time. And I'm just going to go over a couple places to sort. Let's go to page 20 right now. Page 20 is the Y exchange page, where we have words like magnify that change when we add a suffix. And mystery is another example of that. So we'll write actually magnify, cross off that I to write magnifies. Oh, sorry, not I was thinking something was wrong there. It was magnificent, even though we would write magnifies that way. Magnificent. And then mystery and mysteries, we cross off that Y, change it to an I, and add ES. Once again, this was page 20. And here are the words. This is all for the video today. You can pause if you need more time. Looking at the page. Okay, I'll have a separate video for you with well-ordered language. Have a great day. I'll see you soon. Bye.